Who is Ade Kareem?
I'm helping entrepreneurs and business professionals protect their businesses or assets or legacy. Not protecting your business risk can undo all your vision or legacy very quickly. I said to you, the best time to put insurances in place is when you're healthy, because the insurance company they're multi-billion pounds company, not even million. So would I want to watch out for the billion pounds company because they don't pay me salary? I'm a social conscious entrepreneur. Socially conscious entrepreneur are people that really want to make impact in their community through social work. That's by bringing educative information around what I do to people, which is free. It's not that I'm going to charge people for it. Things that I know over a decade in the industry. Here's the question. If I were to say to you now that what happened to your business if you're not able to be there physically due to hospitalization, how does that kind of scenario impact you financially?
Financially,
Yeah.
God forbid.
Yeah. The panda laughs is your...
In situations like this, where do you then come in?
My name is Ade Kareem. You're watching Trades and Profits with Michael Okuloro.
This episode is brought to you by 1219 Styles for quality bespoke suits crafted to perfection, all from the comfort of your home. Schedule a virtual measurement today at www.1219styles.co.uk.
This is Trades and Profits with Michael Okuloro. How are you doing, Ade Kareem?
I'm good, very well. I'm informed. Yeah, thank you very much. Yes.
It is good to have you here today. I think this is a bit quite a different episode, but I think it is important as well for us to have conversations like this, and because most times, or a lot of our guests before now, they've always been fashion designers and people who are in the fashion, the creative space.
Sure.
But this time around, we're delving into the business side. So which is the whole idea of like Trades and Profits, sharing about stories and journey of like fashion entrepreneurs, not just fashion entrepreneurs, but like creative people, which is the trades. And the profit side is how to ensure that what you're doing, you're being protected, you're making good money from it as well. And so I would say one more time, welcome to Trades and Profits. Can you briefly talk me through what you do?
Thank you, Michael. Thank you for having me on Trades and Profits. It's a great privilege to be here today. So again, my name is Ade Kareem. So what I do is I empower entrepreneurs through use of financial services. In a nutshell, what I do is I use insurances to protect risk against businesses as well as families, and helping people protect what means most to them.
So why would you say what you do? Why would you say it is important?
I'm helping entrepreneurs and business professionals protect their businesses or assets or legacy. So, as we know, entrepreneurs are visionaries, and to be an entrepreneur, you have to have vision, strategy, and a relentless dedication, to achieve that status. Use of financial protection, which I'm an expert, and I've got over a decade of experience in, can let me know not protecting your business risk can undo all your vision or legacy very quickly. A typical scenario is, let's say you register a business, you start what you're doing, and yet sometimes it might be just only you, and sometimes you might just be one or two brains behind what you do. So what happens sometimes is we think about what happens to the intellectual property of that business. So i.e., being a self-employed, a business owner, it means you physically sometimes have to be present to achieve your goals. In essence, if the worst were to happen and you're not able to get to that business, so does that mean that the business just gonna go out in the wind? What I mean by that is, because you're not there, you're the creative mind, and your creativity, what you put in is out the ends meets, and you get to the other side of profit. But take, God forbid, take illness or accident, for example. So what happened to that person if they were to get involved in a ghastly motor accident? I'm not saying that's gonna happen every day, but it's a possibility. Or potentially a serious illness. So which means that now they cannot be where their business where their business is. So essentially, whether you're in that space, whether you're single or a married person, or you're a homeowner or renting, you know your bills don't stop. And I will imagine if you don't have the right protection in place, such as protecting your income, protecting you yourself in case of accident or sickness, things that will, see yourself as the ATM. So if the ATM is broken, is money going to come out of that ATM? No. So making sure you have the oil rubbing on that ATM, or to have the right lubricant, make it keep going. But we know that elsewise, sometimes it might happen. But in the contrary, is in the case it happens, where now your business, your livelihood is at risk, and then the only way to safeguard against those strange factors will be to have protection in place, which is you now financially protecting yourself for now and future. Because if anything happens to you, it means your insurance protection can safeguard you at time of difficulties.
Let us bring it back home. So what you're saying now is that for me, I will make money. How I make money is by me showing up, doing those things I'm doing. So either by me meeting up with my clients, trying to ensure that we make sales, or trying to inspire my team for us to do more. So what you're saying is that in a situation where, God forbid, something's happened
Well,
to
let's say
me.
God forbid.
Well, we're African, so
As people of faith.
as people of faith, yeah,
We
they say,
don't
God forbid. Not that we want that to happen.
Yeah.
So if something happens to me tomorrow, what you're saying is that with what you do is to ensure that there is still food on my table.
Absolutely.
So why do you think insurance is important for fashion businesses?
What I love about the job I do with fashion is it can be incorporated, because in financial services, a lot of people will know you're always suited and booted. Expensive suits, even though they're not expensive, some people create their own style. And I think fashion and finance, to me, they go hand in hand. Here's the question. Yeah, I know you're having me on your show, but if I were to say to you now that what will happen to you, what will happen to your business if you're not able to be there physically due to hospitalization? What I might mean is, let's say overnight you're having this bad tummy ache, or God forbid, but then you end up in hospital, and then they find out through further checks that it's a lot worse than what you think. Now you're gonna be tied there for months. So what will happen? What will happen to your business if that scenario happened?
What will happen to my business?
Yeah.
Okay, number one.
Yeah.
I think the podcasts will have to take a pause.
Okay.
Yeah. So if and because this needs me for this to go on, like the podcast needs me to be present there for me to go. And two is to see how I can carry on the business, like with the rest of the team. But although I know that my own presence will be felt without me being in the business. So yeah, then I will have to like just surrender to make sure that I have my health.
Essentially, you might be one of the main intellectual people in your business. You might have a team, quite rightly, but sometimes when the main intellectual property is not there, or the main it's not quite the same. And if we look at it, and many people don't want to think like that. It's fine, completely fine. But in a scenario where that illness can be long term. If it's long term, even though you have a team, down the line slowly, because you're not really present, it will start affecting your team. Because now they know you're in the hospital, you're not well. And even though they probably be carrying on your work, your production, they will still make time to visit you, or they'll be thinking about your care for you. But what I'm saying is, how does that kind of scenario impact you financially?
Financially,
Yeah.
God forbid.
Yeah. That laugh says your.
Yeah, it says, yeah, God forbid, like I said,
Yeah.
it's something that just thinking about it, and to be honest with you, before this conversation,
Sure.
I've never thought about this in this direction that, okay, I know I have like lofty dreams. I know every day I wake up to like chase something, but I've never thought about it to say if something happened to me, what will happen to those dreams, or what will happen?
Your financing.
Or yeah, all my finances. So, okay, now in situations like this, where do you then come in? How do you then help?
Yeah, I will go back to. I know this is not for Nigerians only; it's for everybody. Black people, white people. Protection is for everybody. Whether you're a family, a business, a single person, a married person, someone with children, it's for everybody, because it's all good and well that we say, God forbid, we've said that a lot of time here, but God care for those who care for themselves. It's like that, because there are certain situations God will not just walk down to you and care, because you need to make those steps and put things in place for yourself to safeguard your financial resilience and your financial future, because it means you are preparing for what if that happens to me, because you still want to carry on and be able to afford the kind of lifestyle that you're used to. Sometimes, maybe when you're sick, you're not able to really go anywhere, but having income or that you put in place as a result when you're ill and the insurance is looking after you, it means you're probably gonna have rest. It's not even probably, you will have rest of mind. And you also have peace of mind, because one thing is to be sick and another thing to be worried about finances. Yeah, and some people can argue like, oh, okay, I'll go to universal credit, but how much is universal credit gonna look after you the way you or whatever sick benefit? Yeah, if you check all these figures, it's not going to be enough. But what's enough is what you put in place for yourself. And rightly, like I said, where do I come in? I come in with my expertise, because what I do is have this kind of meaningful conversation that we're having, because sometimes, just like you said earlier, people don't think about it. But what I do is I empower people in that way to let them see it. Yeah. So I'm very, very, very gospel about it. Yeah, because it's like I preach about it. Yeah, because one of the reasons I preach about this is things that happened to people very close to me, and I see the financial impact and how that affects the family, because things are not being put in place, and then it's like a pyramid. You just fell all the way. You just fell down basically. But when I come into this space in this industry, I feel blessed to have those knowledge to know. So our other folks, what I'm talking about. Yeah, they have been doing this for years, and we, and especially the Black community, we, in percentage wise, we are still miles far from it, and because we focus more on stuff that we shouldn't really. I'm not saying stuff that we don't really would probably won't do much for us in case of difficult times, and also it's a thing that I think we sometimes, people like myself, when you come around to our community, some people might think, oh, he's coming to take my money, but I'm actually coming to help, because that's how I say it. But there's a reward in helping people, because what our company is a free, no obligation consultation. We can meet and have a conversation. You're not being charged for it, but you just want to see what areas that you might actually need those protections. And I can assure you, you will definitely find, just like you said, yeah, you never thought about it. You've never really think about it. You will find areas that you think, you know what, if something really happened to me, I'm done. Like, yeah. So it's helping people identify areas of risk to themselves. And to be honest, it's not rocket science. It's things that people already is happening every day, but it's just that they're not conscious to think about it, because not many people will say, oh, I want to end up in hospital tomorrow. Nobody ever pray for that, we know, but it can happen.
Why do you think people are not really doing this? Or why do you think people are not protecting themselves from like unforeseen circumstances or situation?
Yeah, there are a couple of things. Sometimes some people might be from past experiences. Sometimes some people might be about hearsay. And some people might just, I think personally, I feel majority is lack of awareness and lack of education. What I mean lack of just, I'm not saying people are illiterate or anything, but I'm just saying, if like you have specialty in fashion, you would definitely know more than me around fashion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I might love fashion, but when it comes to certain things about fashion, because you make clothes and you know that more than,
Because this is what I deal with almost every day
yeah.
of my life.
So so in my own space, because this is my job, and I know from you talking to me about your situation, that's when we do like a fact find about you. I can tell which insurance you will need from you just talking to me. But sometimes when people just go online to try and buy their own insurance, they might not actually buying the right insurance for themselves. Because, and I'm saying this because down the line, because people have this belief that, oh, I'm paying my insurance every month, so I need my claim right now. But you might have gone to purchase online something that is not what you need, and in that space, maybe a claim arise, and then you put a claim in, and then insurance is saying, oh no, you're not covered for that. Then you'll be like, what do you mean I'm paying every month? Why? What do you mean I'm not covered for that? Truly, by the time they send you back to your terms and condition, you actually notice like, hold on, I'm not actually
Paying for this.
I'm paying for this, but I'm not actually covered for what I'm asking for. So my own job is like, I'm like your I'm like your
Consultant.
I'm your concern, I'm like your solicitor. So because my job is to put the right thing in place for you. Because if I don't put the right thing in place for you, you come back on me. So I got a license to protect. So and I don't have issue with anyone's that, what's it called? Track records. Yeah. Shows that under what I do for people, there's no one that is I've not been unable to claim. Because when you speak to people heart to heart, you will find out what they need, and then that will allow you to make suitable recommendation for them.
Do insurance company, do they do that intentionally to hide away information for people? You know why I'm asking this question? Okay. Do you want to explain that, or I should? Yeah.
If you maybe had a prior experience, you can say it, or if you hear something from people, but because I don't work for them, I'm a consultant.
Okay.
I work with them. I'm a business. They are a business.
Yeah.
But I've learned their products.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what, for example, what Aviva will offer, what Vitality will offer, Legal and General, Scottish Widows. They, even I'm mentioning names, they offer some quite similar things. But in my experience, I will not say, because I don't work for them, so I don't need to protect them if I say anything that they're not doing right. Because when we have our annual seminars and all of that, they always ask for feedback. What do you think we're not doing right? What do you think people, what areas do we need to improve on that people might be struggling? So us being the representatives, we don't think they're hiding any information, because one of the key things with insurance companies are they will say, provide us with the accurate information. So i.e., I've met someone before, I wanted to do their insurance, and if you're a non-smoker, you will get it slightly cheaper. But if you smoke, it's not that it's the most expensive thing, but it will reflect that you're a smoker, if that makes sense.
Why is that?
Yeah, because non-smoker, it's that belief that, okay, you're not smoking, you're going to be more healthy. Yeah. But if someone might say, oh, some people are smoking and they're more healthy than non-smoker. Yeah, that's true. But if you see the campaign and all of that, they're trying to get people away from smoking. Yeah.
Yes.
So they will have that price to, oh, smoker is a non-smoker. That will reflect slightly. I mean, for example, not big deal. It might be £5 reflection. I might say it's not a big deal to me, but it might be a big deal to
But
someone.
what if I don't smoke and I lie that? What if I smoke and I tell lies?
That is exactly where I'm going to.
Okay.
So now, the insurance said that bold print, they're saying, give us the accurate information about yourself. So now you smoke, but then now you're going to put non-smoker. When your claim comes around, when your claim arises, that will be investigated. And if you're found to be smoking, where in fact you put yourself as non-smoker, that will jeopardize your policy. That means you have literally crumbled your claim. So how is that a fault of insurance? When people say, oh, insurance they want to scam me, they are happy to take my monthly premium, but they don't want to pay me when I want to claim. I don't believe it, because people that I work with over a decade, they don't have that kind of experience with me, because I set it straight that give me everything about yourself, health, smoking, just give me everything. Because what we're trying to do is, you feel like you're applying for a visa, but not in that way. Because you might as well tell them the truth. If they're going to give you, they're going to give you. What I mean give you is they're going to accept you. Because insurance, as people say, they want to take your money, they decline people. If you submit some application and there's a lot of health issues there, if truly they want to take your money, they will accept you and wait for you, and then tell you later that, oh, you got so many illnesses, we're not going to give you any claim. But no, in fact, at the submission, at the very beginning, once you throw that application in, they will reject it back, because they will say, oh, this person is too much risk for us to cover. So that's why in the past, off record, when me and you talk, I said to you, the best time to put insurances in place is when you're healthy. Yeah, because sometimes when you start having some few issues with your health, you might not be getting the best cover out there.
Okay.
Yeah. So although, thank God, nowadays we have so many policies that can help a lot of people, even in a situation where they've been declined, or they due to health, they are not able to get the best way. We actually have some of the best policies out there for them now, because where someone is saying no to you, there are some other people also saying yes. But I'm just explaining to you where there's that misconception about, oh, I'm paying every month, but when it comes to claim, they don't want to pay me. But if you find out, or if you investigate it, it's something in the line of someone hasn't really said something right in their application.
Someone told lies.
And that is it for me. If I remember, I was in Stoke Newington. I met this Jamaican guy in a coffee shop, because he saw me in my suit. So, what do you do? And I said, this is what I do. Then he said, oh, I'm a electrician and self-employed, blah blah blah. And I got two sons. One is playing football and they're doing well. One is in athletics. I think it was the Olympic time.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I went to see him, and we did a quote for him, and then he said, "Oh, that's a little bit high." I said, "We can tailor it to your affordability, because the beautiful thing about insurance nowadays is you can choose your own price. Yeah, you can choose what you know your pocket more than me. So you can say, oh, Mr. Ade, this is the amount I want to put towards my insurance. And my own job is to tailor that amount to your needs. So to cover your needs. And if we get to a place where you might need to have a little bit more, you will be like, oh, I can add £5 more to get you a whole lot. But what I'm trying to say, the man is talking and said to me, oh, put it there that I don't smoke. I said, no, I can't do that. He said, why not? I said, because if I do that for you, and a day comes when you're going to claim, you're going to be costing me where I am, because you'll have been paying that monthly premium every month. And if it comes to investigation before they pay your claim, to come to think of it, paying claims is, the turnaround is very quick. It's usually within 10 days you get your claim. But in that time, it's enough time for them to investigate whether you smoke or not. Oh, so I told the man, no. He said, oh, you're a black guy, do it. I said, no, I don't work like that. I said, if you ask me one more time, I will walk away. But no disrespect, I don't work like that, because I don't want to spoil my own handwork. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you want to save £5-10. No. And then later down the line, we did the policy. Then he called me and said, you're a man of integrity. Like, to be honest, if you did it that day, I would take it, but you stood by, you went no. I said, yeah, no. So I said, well, thank you that you've come back to, you really appreciate that. So because you're putting your policies, like it's part of your life as well. It's not a joke. Maybe some people treat it as a joke. These are some of the important part of livelihood nowadays, lifestyle, to have protection and safeguards and insurances in place. It's very, very underestimated.
Okay. The question I was going to ask is, do you think insurance companies, they are happy when people don't get to know about the full details of or have, like, do you think they're happy to benefit from people ignorance of when? No,
not at all. And that's why someone like myself, I can come under fire for that. Because what that means is, I meet you now. One of the key part of my job is to make sure that I get the accurate information from you. And it's for me to make sure, repeatedly, remind you through the course of my consultation with you, saying, oh, Mr. Michael, have you ever been to the hospital in the last 2 years? And you say, no. He said, oh, at all. Like, oh, okay. Sometimes another way I use is, what was the last thing you went to hospital for? Because they're like, oh, I went to hospital in April last year. But I thought you said you haven't been to hospital the last 2 years. Yeah. Because sometimes the way I ask the question sometimes is prompt people into reminding you. Some people genuinely forgot. Not that they want to do one over me. But because also, they shouldn't forget that I'm trying to help them. But from your question, the insurance company are not happy that, oh, okay, look at it this way. If you are paying £20 monthly premium and it's over 20 years, so £20 in a year is how much? 240. So 240 in 20 years. I mean, I can't do that much.
240 in 20 years, that would be about £4,800.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I'm right. Sorry, 240 in 20 years.
Yes, maybe.
Yeah, that's 4,800. Yeah, my math.
Yes, that's spot on. Yeah. So 2,400 is what you're paying in 20 years, but the insurance company is giving you 100,000 if anything happened to you. So why would someone give you 100,000 be happy that you're ignorant? What I'm trying to say is, so are you just throwing that 100,000? Like, should anything happen to you, Mr. Michael, we'll pay you 100,000. So you think they are just camouflaging? It's a camouflage, that money. No, it's truly, if something happens to you, they will pay that money. And you might not have even spent that 20 years time you put on your policy before you never know. So, i.e., you can do insurance today. If something happened to you next week, if there's 100,000 payout on your policy, that's how much you will be paying out next week.
Even if I pay 20 pounds.
Even though you haven't paid your first premium. So if your first premium is meant to go end of this month, but it's already live as of this week. But they are taking your first payment end of the month. If anything happened to you next week before that end of the month, you haven't paid.
Yeah.
They will pay that 100,000.
Will they pay the money into my account there?
Yes.
So, but
there are processes to pay into your account because they
need to get all proof as well before. I said they as well need to get all the right documents.
Yeah, obviously, before we submit your application, we will have gone through everything with you.
Have you had any customers or clients in the past who were able to successfully redeem money during difficult times?
Yes, many.
Many.
During COVID, I was trying to tell some of them to put a video together as well for testimonies. Obviously, some of them are sad situation involving children, because some people don't even know insurance covers children. So as a parent, if you have a policy, under your policy, your children can be covered. And even there are some standalone children policy that you can just do for your children. So in case of cancer or they break a bone, children they're still running around. They play at the playground. Some of them might go and break their hand, especially for people that are self-employed. If your child breaks their hand, you might probably need to take time off work to look after them. But in that scenario, the insurance company will pay for that broken bone. That money, clearly your child is a child, isn't it? That money comes to your account. So if you look at it cleverly, you're saying that because you protect your children, so when that happens to them, when you take time off work, they are actually paying you, they're paying you in essence that you're looking after your child. But some people might say, oh, I got saving. I don't care. But if it was a serious thing that is more longer term, it not only will impact you financially, it will also affect your business in one way or the other. Because we have we're emotionally drawn to our children, isn't it? Yeah, so then now
you can't give your full attention to what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. But if you know that insurance is paying for that incident that happened to your child, that money is technically coming to your parents, in your pocket as a parent. So it means even though you might not be happy that this is happening to my child now, but there's always this feeling that you have that peace of mind that, at least we're being covered to what we've been paying for. And my daughter or my son break their bone, or they have a fall, they have a tendon ligament damage, or they are skating and they fall over, they are doing horse riding, they break their bone. Even people with heart condition, asthma. Normally, if you have those conditions already, the insurance company will not be taking you on board. But we have products nowadays that will care for people with sickle cell. They are not able to take like full life insurance and all that, but in fact, what they're able to take is something that will protect them in their business in case of crisis. Because sometimes these people have crisis every now and then. If you know anybody that with sickle cell, or sometimes people with severe diabetes, yeah, and you have insurance in place because they know they have that, they are vulnerable, so they are protecting that vulnerability.
We have that backup of the cushion.
From their cushion. And even people that are healthy, it's just a sensible thing to do. And any product that you're working with, if you don't believe in those products, then you're not in business. Because if you don't believe in it, why are you spreading it to people?
Why are you putting it out?
Yeah, because that means you're intentionally. If you look at consumer duty nowadays, consumer duty talk about watching out for your client first. because the insurance company they're multi-billion pounds company, not even million. So would I want to watch out for the billion pounds company because they don't pay me salary?
So for you, how did your story started? How did your journey started? Or the question is, who is Ade Kareem?
Today, I would describe Ade Kareem. I'm a socially conscious entrepreneur. That might be like, what does that mean? So and when you say that, it's not about the money, because when you do right by the people, money will come. Money is always the last thing, but if you do the right thing for people, money will follow.
Yeah. In other words, money go after value.
Yeah.
I have one more question, right? Sure. So for fashion influencers, content creators like myself, what kind of insurance would you advise they should go for?
I will start by depend on your setup.
Okay.
If you set up as a limited company, depend on how big you are. Sometimes you might set up as a limited company and then you have shareholders or key people. You might want to look at something to protect different people within your setup individually. But if you're not on that scale, because what I'm saying in this way is different circumstances for different people. So let's say for yourself, maybe you're a family man, you got a wife, you got children, then you might be looking at something that protects yourself. You might even be the breadwinner, and your wife too is working. You might want to look around something for yourself, your wife, and what covers your children. And one of the key things is, for you to be able to protect what means most to you, you need to have income to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the first conversation I say is protecting that income first.
Mm.
Yeah, because sometimes, if, like I said earlier, if something happened like illness, serious illness or accident, things that means that when you're not in your place of work, there's no income. So you might want to protect that aspect first. That should something happen to me, my income don't stop. Then followed by, should I suddenly pass, I want that money to go to my beneficiary, which are my children, or I want my wife to have that money. And I hear this from guys. It's vice versa, because in this life, the way things happen is mysterious. They happen mysteriously. It can be sometimes a couple. It might be the wife that go first, and it will be the husband left with the children. It might be the husband that go first. It might be the wife left with the children. So you want to be able to safeguard all these aspects. So for your question, for me, for entrepreneurs, I will say
content creators, especially.
Yeah, you because I know you from content nowadays. They said people make a lot of money, but for me, you want to safeguard your income.
So when you mean you want to safeguard your income, so that means not even safeguarding yourself, but safeguarding the business itself. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. So put it this way: it will do your content now. Some people can even do everything on their phone.
Yeah.
So some people might be like, I just need my phone, and once I post this thing online, maybe with followers, with trends, money, maybe YouTube will pay me or whatever. So what do I need to protect? But this is a question: what something happened, you're not physically able to hold your phone to do those things? So, that's I'm not you.
Yes, I get your question.
You're probably ill now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're probably not well.
Mm.
So God forbid, let's say there's a kidney failure, there's a liver problem. We've seen on some big celebrities in Nigeria in recent times that they do good content and a good job, but some of them we see that they disappear for a while. In fact, we will even find out later that some of them are asking for help.
Yeah.
Here and there. Yeah, it doesn't matter. People might say, because they're in Nigeria. It doesn't matter, even though you're in UK. How many people with something, if something happened to you today, how many people can you call and say, hey, Jide, hey, Babatunde, Femi, give me £500 from you guys there, or £1,000. Even though if they're your pals, if they give you this month, you're still unwell next month. If you go back to them, they got their own bills out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what you do to safeguard yourself is yours. So as much as you can have your pals, and some people will even feel disappointed when things like that happen to them, and they reach out to their friend, and their friend said, my friend, my pocket is no, like, I can't help that way. And some people have even feel disappointed. They're like, that guy, see now I need his help. He's not helping me. When he was in some issue last time, I helped him, but now he doesn't want to help me. It still start going that way. But if you do your own thing, you won't even bother about running to anybody for help because you already put your own help in place.
Yeah, absolutely.